Hello, my name's Angela from Angela Simpson Functional Medicine Physiotherapy. And today I'd like to talk to you about perimenopause and chronic fatigue and why so many people that are in this stage of their life, females especially, seem to be suffering from this. There are three main causes typically that I have seen in my practice of chronic fatigue, especially in this particular age group. And one of the main ones is chronic stress. And it's tough to get around stress in our life. We all have a certain degree of it. But what happens when the stress becomes chronic, it's ongoing, and you feel overwhelmed or overburdened all the time, and it becomes unmanageable. At this point, it does start to affect several systems in your body. And when you are in this particular stage of your life, often what is already happening naturally is your sex hormones are gradually starting to decline as you age. And this process is normal. But if you are under chronic stress, sometimes what can happen is these hormones actually get depleted more quickly than is optimal. And sometimes certain sex hormones get depleted more quickly than others when we're under chronic low-grade stress. And so we can get an overall lowering of hormones that is actually accelerated to what it actually should be for our age. And then we can also get even a hormonal imbalance within this. And both of these things can cause us to have low energy. And so what is the solution for this? It's really important that you work with someone who can actually help to figure out what are the main stressors, what's causing it, what has triggered it, potentially over your lifetime, not just necessarily at this point in time in your life, and what are the solutions to help you fix it and balance it. Because if you are under chronic low-grade stress, there are some other issues that can cause low energy that go along with this. And one of the other ones that I commonly see is what is termed chronic low-grade inflammation in the body. And so this can actually happen just from being under chronic stress alone, but quite commonly it does come with a combination of other factors. And these are lifestyle factors, such as potentially not eating the right foods for us that actually are causing a buildup of inflammation in our bodies gradually over time. Another hidden cause of inflammation can actually also be lack of proper amounts of sleep, especially deep sleep. And so sometimes this is a hidden cause and people don't realize how much sleep actually affects our body's systems. But both of these things can contribute to chronic low energy, especially around the time of perimenopause. And again, back to stress, you can see how closely related all of these things are. Because if you are under a lot of stress and you have a hormonal imbalance that is possibly caused by this, it actually will affect your ability to get to sleep, and sometimes it'll affect your ability to stay asleep at night. And so it is really important that you address the root cause of why you have the low energy in the first place. And then the other thing that is really common that I see with chronic low-grade energy, especially at this point in your life, is chronic malabsorption of nutrients and minerals. And often this has to do with some dysfunction in the gut. And again, this actually can be related to the first two things I mentioned, such as chronic low-grade stress, as well as inflammation levels that are out of balance in your body. But quite commonly what does happen when we're not absorbing our vitamins and minerals properly in our body when we eat our food is that we're not actually allowing our body to get into its natural daily energy cycle within the cells. And so the net result is an overall feeling of fatigue. Quite commonly, women will report to me, I feel tired when I get out of bed. Even if I feel like I've actually had a full night's rest, I feel like I can barely drag myself out of bed. I might get a little bit of energy for an hour or two out of the day, but then I feel tired again, and it actually affects my motivation. It affects my ability to focus and concentrate at work. And it also affects my ability to relate to others around me, especially my loved ones. I feel short-tempered all the time. Sometimes I feel angry that I feel this way, and it's contributing to me actually feeling more exhausted. And again, it becomes a real cycle. So if you do feel like you are in this stage of your life in perimenopause and you are suffering from chronic fatigue and it has been going on for a while now, and maybe it's potentially getting worse, you really need some help with this. You really need to figure out where it's coming from. Do you have some hormonal imbalances? Are your hormones not at the correct levels that they should be for where you're at in your stage of your life in perimenopause? Is it possible that there are some other factors that are hidden that you haven't discovered yet that might be contributing to your fatigue? It's really important to figure it out. Because if you don't, what typically happens at this stage of life is the fatigue doesn't just get better on its own. As the hormones continue to shift and fluctuate as you get closer to menopause and actually transition through menopause, is things actually tend to get worse. And if you do continue to have low levels of energy to the point that you're feeling like you're not functioning in your everyday life, it's probably going to continue to affect more and more aspects of your life. And sometimes it actually can also even cause you to develop a chronic disease. There are some diseases that are associated with the things that I have mentioned, especially for females. We are more prone to heart conditions as we get closer to menopause. And transition through menopause, especially if the hormones are out of balance or depleted beyond what they should be for our age. You actually also can be more prone to certain female cancers as well. And so it is really important that you figure out where that low energy is coming from so that you can start to rebalance it now. And then you also can have the benefit of having an easier transition through menopause and not be as symptomatic as a lot of people typically are when they are going through this period of time with systems out of balance in their body. So if you want to learn more about this, if you're interested in developing an individualized plan by working with me to help you optimize and restore your energy so that you feel well again, please let me know. I'm happy to have a 45-minute complimentary consult with you to talk to you about this and see if it could be a good fit for us to work together to help you restore your energy in perimenopause and for years to come. You can reach me at my website, www.angelasimpsonfunctionalmedicine.ca. I really look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.